Good morning. In our last sessions, in our last classes, we were talking about the different aspects of computer memories. We have already completed that what is the memory and how it works in a computer system. We have also completed the types of memories, and we defined in our previous classes that there are two types of primarily there are two types of memory could be broadly classified, that are primary memory and the secondary memory. As you know, that primary memory is also known as main memory, and the secondary memory is known as the tertiary memory, auxiliary memory. It is also known as that primary memory is also known as internal memory, and the secondary memory or the auxiliary memory is known as external memory. We have also gone through that different types of ROM and RAM, and we also discussed about the different types of secondary memories. Now, in today's class, we have also completed that hierarchy of the memory, that you know that computer system has many kinds of memories. You know that for different reasons, for different purpose, a computer system utilizes the benefits of different kinds of memories. Memories are nothing but a storage device that stores any data or information for either for temporary or period, or for a permanent period, or for a longer period. As you know that anything that has to be executed on a computer system, that data or information must be first loaded into its memory, into its some of the storage space. You need a kind of a storage space where you can load your data, information, along with the instructions that has to be executed, and that storage may be permanently or temporarily. Normally, the computer processor has a provision for such storage, and that is built inside that processor and in the forms of that registers. Apart from this, registers are very tiny storage spaces, storage devices that could store the information and data in a very little amount. It stores normally those data or information or the instructions that has to be currently executed. But apart from that, to maintain the regularity or the continuity, you also store your data that has to be follow that currently executed instructions into your RAM and sometimes in your cache memories. So by such a hierarchical arrangement of different kinds of memories, you perform your entire processing or your entire execution of the different set of instructions. Now, apart from all that, just recap for your better memory. Apart from all these, we have another concept that is called virtual memory. See, day by day, what is the need of this virtual memory? Day by day, the size of your programs, the size of the different executable jobs are increasing, and due to various compulsions, technological compulsions and economical compulsions, you cannot increase the size of that primary memory or the RAM or even the numbers of registers built inside that processor after a limit. You cannot increase them. You can increase the capacity of these registers to hold the data, the amount of data, or the capacity of that random access memories. So when you cannot increase their size after a limit, you need to have a particular kind of provision where you can load your larger programs, your bigger programs. See, your programs are getting much larger day by day. It is getting much bigger, day by day due to various reasons. One of the primary reasons nowadays are their quality concern. For better quality, you are increasing the size of your day-to-day use of such kind of data. I'm pointing you towards a common example that see, if you are processing some audio or video programs or data, uh, just to think about that situation that earlier you were using those data and um, or your information related with your audio and video in an analog form, then you started using it in a digital form. And nowadays even a common mobile camera or even a mobile capture has that data and information into its high definition format, in its SD formats. Think about that that density of that pixels or the amount of that data that is used for the same snap or the same picture. It is increasing. Earlier, I can remember that earlier when you were using your normal mobile cameras, that was the digital camera only. One selfie for a passport size photo was just having 200 to 300 kilobytes of data. But nowadays, when you are using megapixel cameras and you are using that 8 megapixel and the 20 megapixel cameras for your selfie, the same selfie for your passport size photograph may go up to the 5 MB to 10 MB of the capacity. So think about that situation, that for processing that photograph with your computer system, earlier where you were only concerned to process that 200 or 300 KB of data, kilobytes of data, and now the same photograph is being processed with the capacity of that 5 MB to megabyte to 10 megabyte of data. So by such, I have just given you this example that how your programs are becoming larger and how it becomes of a great size nowadays. So in such case, when you have to process your larger programs or your larger set of informations in that tiny space of your registers, or you have to load that program into that random access memory, the size of random access memory or the RAM is also, it cannot be increased after a limit, it cannot be increased after a particular capacity. So here I would like to clear one point, that technically there is no restriction at all. Technically you have that capability to increase the size of that RAM up to infinite. Economically also you can do that if that high cost memories are nothing to worry about you, nothing to worry for you, you can. But ultimately the entire cost or that entire technological compulsions is going to harm the performance of your system. So after a limit you cannot increase the size or the capacity of these primary memories. To solve all these problems, you have introduced a new concept of virtual memory. See, one thing must be clear in your mind, that virtual memory is just a concept. It is called virtual memory. It is a virtual one. It is not an actual one. It is not an actual memory, it is a virtual memory. So that virtual memory is just a concept. In virtual memory, you utilize the capabilities of the computers for processing larger jobs in a virtual way. I mean to say here that virtual memory, because it is not an actual memory, it is just a virtual one, it presents a kind of a illusion that the size of your RAM or the primary memory where you are loading your different programs or instructions for its execution has increased. it presents such kind of illusion. ये एक ऐसा आपको भ्रम सा लगता है वहाँ, जैसे कि साइज जो है आपका रैम का वो बढ़ गया है या बड़ा हो गया है to accommodate your larger programs or your large set of instructions. But such illusion is just an illusion. In reality, it implements this concept of virtual memory in a different way. Say, when a larger program has to be accommodated in your tiny space of memory, it is not accommodated at once. एक बार में ही आप उसको वहाँ लोड नहीं कर देते हैं. In reality, what happens that your larger programs or the huge set of instructions, it is primarily stored on your hard disk or on your secondary devices. It actually resides in your hard disk or in your secondary devices. And just a part of that larger program, just that part of the larger program which is currently executable or which is currently needed for any processing is loaded into your that primary memory for its processing. And subsequently, when that part is executed, that part is again swapped back to that hard disk, and the next part or the next installment of that larger program is loaded into your main memory, and that is executed, and then again that part is returned back or swapped back, rolled out from that processor, and the next part is loaded. By such swapping, that such constant swapping of the different parts of your larger program makes you able to process that larger program in a very tiny primary memory storage spaces. And by such means you process your larger programs by dividing that larger program into different subsections, and then you process your larger program. This happens internally and actually, by which means you process your larger program. But at the user's end, this presents an illusion that your larger program has been loaded at once into your primary memory. आपको ये भ्रम होता है कि वो पूरा का पूरा प्रोग्राम एक साथ आपके उस प्राइमरी मेमोरी में है. That larger program may exceed the maximum capacity of your that primary memory or that tiny storage spaces, but you get that illusion, and when you get that illusion, actually you know that what is the size of your primary memory or your that registers, but you are processing your larger program, so it comes that illusion that the size of that primary memory has increased or it has been expanded. But in reality, it do not happens. Your larger program actually resides on your hard disk or the secondary devices, and only a part of that program is loaded into your primary memory that is needed for current execution, and then after that part's job is over, the next part is loaded. Now, this primary memory could be for implementing concepts of primary for implementing the concepts of this virtual memory, you have to divide your larger programs into different smaller slots or into different smaller sizes. To implement such concepts and to divide your larger programs into different smaller parts, you utilize two different kinds of concepts. You can divide your larger programs into two different categories. One of the category is known as segmentation, and the other category is known as paging. The difference between this segmentation and paging, in both implementations, you divide your larger programs into different smaller parts. The major difference or the major understanding of these two concepts could be some in one-liners, that see, the paging, the concept of paging tells you that your paging is the physical division of your larger programs. In your paging concept, what you do, that you divide your larger programs into the different smaller parts and each part is known as a page. And in paging concept, all the divisions of a larger programs have to be of same size. So in paging system, it is a physical division of your larger programs. You physically divide your larger programs into the different smaller sections to load, to make them able to load into your primary memory, so that you may process them accordingly as per their need. But in the concept of segmentation, you do not divide your programs, your larger programs, into the smaller parts physically, but you divide the programs logically. It is the logical division of your larger programs. You divide your programs into different segments. In segmentation also, you may divide your larger programs by grouping the different parts of your programs into a particular usable brackets. I mean to say here that if your larger programs are not accommodable in your primary memory at once, you divide that program into different smaller parts according to the concepts of segmentation. By the means of that, you can create different segments. You can create a data segment. In that segment, you can collect all that data that is used in executing that program or that job. You can create a stack segment where you can receive all that outputs and or the mediatory or the processing outputs of the programs while it is running. You can create also an instruction stack or the instruction sets, and by such means you can utilize the concept of that segmentation. Apart from this, in segmentation, you can also divide your larger programs into different segments as per their modules. You can divide your larger programs as according to the different modules used in your program. See, the modern concept of programming or that coding of any instruction set is of modular style. You prepare your programs or the different jobs in different modules. You create your programs in a modular organization. The benefits of this modular organization is that it makes your program more maintainable, it makes your program more manageable, it is easy to edit them, it is easy to program them. So when your programs is in a modular shape, it could be divided accordingly based on that modules, and that presents a kind of a logical presentation. You can divide by using their modules logically. So in next class we will have more detail on this segmentation and paging. Today it was just an introduction of that virtual memory. Thank you.